guys, welcome back. So today is a very special video. I have a very special girl who's turning 15 today, and she asked me to make a birthday cake. Now she did send me a whole bunch of pictures, so I knew exactly what she wanted, and here it is. So today it's going to be a little bit of a longer video because I'm going to take you through the whole process of how I made this cake. I'm not really going to have an ending today, so I'm just going to tell you guys now to hit the like button, subscribe, and the notification bell. And I know there's a lot of you who are watching my videos but aren't subscribed yet. Please consider subscribing. It's really going to help my channel grow. But besides that, thank you so much for watching. Remember, this is going to be a longer video than normal because this is a huge process. So I'm so excited to show you how I made it, and I'm really excited to see if she's gonna love it. All right, so I better get started so don't keep you much longer.
Alright, so the first step is grabbing a separate bowl and adding 2.5 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda to it. Then we're just going to give it a mix, and then I'm going to set this aside for a few minutes while we get some of the wet ingredients ready. So for our wet ingredients, we're going to start with 1/2 cup of unsalted butter at room temperature, and I'm going to start mixing it until it is creamy. Then I'm going to add 1.5 cups of sugar, and I'm going to mix that until it's all fluffy. Next, I am going to be adding 2 eggs, and I'm going to mix it just until it is all combined and it looks all silky and smooth. Okay, after that is mixed, we are going to put in some vanilla, a splash or 2, which is about 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I'm going to give that all a quick mix, and then I'm going to start adding the cocoa powder, and it is 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. So next I have 1 cup of buttermilk, and I'm mixing in 1 tablespoon of white vinegar, and then I'm going to add about 1/4 to 1/2 of my jar of red gel food coloring. I had gel, not liquid, otherwise it would be 1 to 2 tablespoons of red liquid food coloring. I am now ready to combine everything together. So I'm going to alternate between adding my flour and my red buttermilk into our chocolate mixture. I am going to stop it once. I'm going to scrape down the sides of the bowl, scrape the mixer off, and just make sure everything is getting properly combined. Then I'm going to add the rest of it and finish mixing. So CORALI asked me to make her a heart-shaped cake. So I went out and I found a heart-shaped pan. I've already buttered it and floured it. Now this recipe is supposed to make a 3-layered cake. So I have to be careful when putting my cake batter into the pan because I have to be able to do this 3 times. So I only have 1 pan, so I gotta, it's gonna take me a little bit of time to make each layer. But anyway, so once you've put your batter in the pan, I'm going to tap it down, get all the air bubbles out. I've also heard twirling it and giving it a little shake will help it when it's baking so it doesn't dome up on you, and it'll actually keep it level. So we'll see how well this actually works. So once it's ready to go in the oven, my oven is preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to probably bake it for about a ½ hour and then check it. Alright, so all 3 layers of the cake are baked, and they are in the freezer because it's easier to ice when the cake is slightly frozen. So they're already done. Now we're going to get the cream cheese frosting ready. So I have 1.5 cups of unsalted butter in my mixer bowl, and I'm going to cream that together with a teaspoon of vanilla, or a splash, whichever you choose to use. Once my butter and vanilla are creamed together, I am going to start adding 2 blocks of cream cheese to the mixture, and I am going to mix it until it is very smooth and creamy. I'm also going to add just a pinch of salt in, and then we are going to start adding the icing sugar. Now you're going to add about 1.5 pounds of icing sugar. I am probably going to end up adding more because I need it much thicker and more manageable to make all the decorations. Since I'm not going to be just icing the cake, I'm actually going to be decorating it. Now that my icing is at a consistency that I'm happy with, I'm going to take a couple of piping bags and fill them with the icing. I've just got a round tip and then a very wide tip to fill each layer of the cake, and then to do a quick icing on the outside of the cake. Now comes the tedious part of cake decorating. So the first thing I'm going to do is check each of my layers, make sure they are flat enough. I've trimmed off anywhere that, might not be quite so flat. So I'm going to start by taking my first piping bag, and I'm just going to make a little barrier around the outside edge of each cake layer. And then I'm going to take my extra icing and fill that layer. Then I'm going to put the cake layer on, do it again, put the last cake layer on. Alright, my next step is to put a thin layer of icing around the whole cake. This is called dirty icing a cake, or putting a crumb coat on. And all this is a very thin layer of icing around your cake to help prevent any of the little crumbs from getting into your final coat of icing when you are ready to decorate. So you're just going to put it on, smooth it all out, make it look pretty. Yes, it's all going to be see-through, which is totally fine. And then you're going to put it into the fridge or the freezer for a couple hours and let it all harden. Alright, so the cake has been in the fridge for quite a few hours. So now it's good and hard, and it's ready to have that final layer of icing put on it. So I'm going to put on a really thick layer of icing to make sure I fully cover the cake. I don't want any cake showing through. Then I'm going to take my little cake spatula, and I am going to smooth it all out, all around the cake and on top, until it looks almost perfect. Well, as perfect as what I can make it. So then I'm going to get a glass, and I'm going to fill it with really, really hot water. And I'm going to soak my spatula in it for a few minutes to make sure it's really hot. Then I'm going to take my spatula, and while it's still wet, I am going to very gently smooth out the icing all around it until I feel like it looks perfect and smooth, and I don't have any little ridges or bumps in it or bubbles, and I'm not missing any spots, and no cake is showing through. Personally, I find working with cream cheese icing extremely difficult, especially in the summer, because it melts so easily. So after I feel like the cake is as smooth and as perfect as what I can make it, I'm going to put it back in the fridge to harden. I'm going to have to do this so many times after every single decoration I do to this, because otherwise it's just going to keep melting on me. So I think it's almost perfect, and I am going to put this in the fridge for a few more hours and get my next set of decorations ready for this cake. I am going to have to make another whole batch of cream cheese icing. Okay, so I did make another batch of icing. This time I took some of it, colored it in pink, put it in my piping bag with a star tip, and now I'm going to make flowers all around the cake. Now, it's been quite a few years since I have decorated a cake, and I definitely made some mistakes, but I went back and tried to fix them. Also, working with cream cheese icing, like I said, melts so fast. So being in a piping bag in my hands while they were warm melted the icing and kind of made my flowers go all mushy. So I did have to fix a few of them because they started to melt. So as they started to melt, I had to fix them, and then I just had to put everything in the fridge until it hardened up again and until I could use the icing in the piping bag without being too warm. Before I add some more decorations with the icing and before I put it in the fridge, I'm going to add just a light coating of edible glitter on it. And I'm also going to put on a couple purple sprinkles. Then I'm going to put it in the fridge to harden. All the other icing's in the fridge as well. Again, it keeps melting. So once it hardens up a bit, then I will keep decorating it. Now please remember, it has been quite a few years since I have done any type of piping and cake decorating like this. So my skills are definitely not up to par. And this is the best it's going to be for a while until I practice some more. So right now I'm going to just add some, some ribbons around the cake. And I'm going to add some more sprinkles. We'll see how this goes.
You've been picking fights with shadows twice your size, using candlelight to dance with your disguise. And when those rumors grow and silence takes this town, you never care enough to try and choke them down. Now there's nowhere left to run. Even the stars aren't out tonight. When it's all been said and done, you can't help but wonder why. You gotta break a few good hearts along the way to find someone who makes you wanna stay. If you could do it all again, there's not a thing that you would change. You gotta break a few good hearts along the way. You stood toe to toe with every doubt you've had, and learn to shine a light on things that make you sad. But looking for a better way around never seems to slow you down. When you've come this far, the pain ain't all that bad. You gotta break a few good hearts along the way to find someone.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for making it through this whole video with me. I know it was a lot of explanations and a lot of steps and showing you guys what I'm doing. This was a very tedious project. I haven't done one in a while like this. So thank you for watching it and helping support me and grow my channel. So that being said, please remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and the notification bell. So my last few steps, I'm just adding some extra glitter onto the cake, and I fixed up any ribbons or anything that was kind of falling off or melting, and then it's going to go into the fridge and be delivered tomorrow. So thank you again for watching my videos. I appreciate you all. And I will see you for whatever I decide to make next.